Welcome to the Pause Perspective.
The podcast where we help dog owners feel calmer, clearer and more confident by understanding what's really going on behind their dog's behaviour.
We're Pat and Molly from Flying Paws Dog Training, and each episode we break down behaviour, training and real life challenges in a way that actually makes sense.
From puppies and adolescents, breed traits and everyday training struggles, we focus on working with your dog's instincts, not against them.
Whether you're trying to prevent problems before they start or you're feeling stuck and not sure what to do next,
you're in the right place.
So grab a coffee, clip on the lead,
and let's get into today's episode.
Hello, Molly. What's happening today?
Not much.
Boys are in here having a bit of a nap, so there isn't much happening really, is there?
Not here, no.
Not right at the moment. What are we going to talk about today?
Today we're going to be talking about understanding what's actually driving your dog's behaviour.
So sometimes, people can get stuck on the wrong thing. So
Yep.
what are we sort of thinking about when we're talking about that?
I suppose the whole point of this conversation is that what we see a lot is most people are trying to just change their dog's behaviour without actually understanding why.
Yep. Why it's doing that behaviour. And I guess if we just look at behaviour, we can miss that reason. So it's a pretty important one. Behaviour is what you see.
Yep.
But the emotional state is what's underneath, isn't it?
Yes,
what
it
they're
is.
actually feeling. What sort of examples might there be of the behaviour we might see?
Well, usually we're talking about the big things, aren't we? So the barking, the pulling, the reacting, and the goal becomes stop it, stop the behaviour.
Yep.
But if we don't understand what's actually driving or the why behind the behaviour, it can become really hard to stop or change.
Yeah. And sometimes those examples you've given, they might be different or mean different things for different dogs, mightn't they?
Yeah, it does.
So that's another thing to think about. It's not sort of always one size fits all.
No.
What do people miss
when they're trying to change behaviour? I suppose what we see a lot is people trying to train through overwhelmment, asking for behaviours when the dog isn't in a state of being receptive to thinking, or trying to fix a behaviour without understanding it. And usually, I suppose, when we say fix is where you see a lot of, for lack of a better word, suppression of behaviours.
Yeah.
And usually people think suppression of a behaviour will work because it stops it.
Yep.
And then it gets what we like to call, which took you a long time to understand, whack-a-mole behaviour.
Yeah.
So for people who might be like Pat that didn't know what whack-a-mole was, you'd never heard of it, have you? When it got described to us in a course. So whack-a-mole is just probably Google it, it's the easiest thing, but it's a little, I think it's an American like arcade sideshowy
thing,
the game where you've got to hit the little moles that pop up, and there's like I think 9 little squares, and it'll pop up somewhere and then it'll drop down and then it'll pop up somewhere else. So this is where, they might be barking at the window and you growl at them, you tell them, no, stop it, don't do it, not realising they're actually scared by the person walking past. Let's use that as an example.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you've stopped it there. Yeah, Fox, you just made that squeak. You've probably made the podcast. You've stopped that there, and then it'll pop up somewhere where it wasn't happening, like on a walk.
Yeah.
Because the emotions underneath
it's still
aren't being dealt with.
Yep. And often it's not that the dog won't do something. It's just that they can't in that moment.
Yeah.
It's too overwhelming for them.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we looking for as in, maybe some body language type things?
In the differences. Yeah. So it's things like tension versus softness in their body. And I think we should put a little disclaimer on this, shouldn't we? Every dog is different.
Yeah.
Every dog is going to offer something different body language wise. But these are probably just some general
Basic
examples.
ones,
So if they're holding tension in their ears, in their base, in their body, they're probably a little bit more stressed than when things are soft.
Yep.
fast versus slow movement.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, you could look at Zan and he can be moving really quick and nothing much is happening. And Fox can be moving really slowly and he might actually be not sure of something.
Yeah.
So again, but as a general rule, usually quicker reactions because they're more excited or they might be trying to get away from something versus their normal everyday gait.
And I guess this is where people just, you watch your own dog and you can pick it. You can go, okay, well, my dog does this and in this circumstance and this in this circumstance, so that you can sort of get a bit of an idea, can't you?
Yeah.
As to, okay, my dog's a little bit different here than your dog. Yeah. So, and can they disengage?
Yeah, that's probably the big one.
Yeah. It is. And what does that actually mean?
It's just whether they can come away from, let's say, a trigger. So it might be a person, it might be a dog, it might be whatever. Can they actually move through, past, away from that thing without there being an over-the-top, let's say, reaction?
Yep.
But I think the really important thing is people can get stuck in analysing.
Yeah.
You're not analysing, you're asking, are they coping or struggling?
Yeah. Yeah. So just so that you can support them. Yeah, I guess the other thing when we talk about can they disengage, that's a pretty big one, but there's a couple of others that are fairly big as well to think about, which might be things like can they take food?
And again, we should just put a little disclaimer on this, like you might have a Labrador that will eat even though it is like stress to the eyeballs, or you might have a dog that's just generally not that fussed about food.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean they're stressed, but
again, that's knowing your dog.
It's knowing your dog, but can they take food normally?
Yeah.
Yeah, for that dog.
Yeah. That's a good one. And I guess can they respond at all? Like, what's actually happening?
Yeah.
So a few things to think about there. What else are we going to talk about? Oh, what about, I guess when we talk about, I've just had a thought, hang on, can they respond at all? Easy, we might think about things like easy things for them to do. So, often people will come and they'll say, I get my dog to sit and then I do blah, blah, blah. And if it's a bit of a stressful situation, they're still trying to get the dog to sit.
Yeah.
So, can it do that easily because it knows to sit at home, it knows it out and about, but something like that you don't have to force it.
No.
But it can tell you, okay, normally it can sit here, but it's not today. So maybe it's not being naughty, maybe it's, struggling with what's happening.
And it's not looking, once upon a time the obedience was the gold standard.
Oh, yeah.
Where for the most part, for most dogs and most owners should be far more concerned with their dog's emotional safety and emotional state than whether they are obeying in a certain situation. And we're just looking for a dog that is able to go, I might not be sure, but I can get through this.
Yeah.
And not be pushed through this, but I'm okay. I can do this.
Yeah.
Or that was really exciting, but I'm able to regulate and
back. Yep, definitely. I guess if you don't understand what's driving your dog, you'll always feel like you're guessing a little bit, won't you?
Yeah, you do. And I think if you do feel like you're guessing or you don't feel like you understand your dog, that is when you need professional help.
Yeah.
Because while you're guessing and trying to figure things out, things could be getting worse.
Yep.
Or just not any better.
Yep. Stuck.
And the sooner you can get that professional help, the better for your dog, you and your dog.
Yeah. And I think, we talk about things like that, but it's just having someone there that's on the outside that can look at what's happening.
Yeah, that understands dog behaviour, dog body language.
It can give you a few tips.
Yeah.
point you in the right direction.
And you might think, oh, my dog's actually coping in this situation, but they might only just be coping.
Yeah, yeah. And having someone there on the sidelines, you can actually see that, and we've done that, you know, well, fairly recently actually, with a client. But yeah, you can sort of look at the dog, get them to do a few things and go, yeah, okay, it is actually struggling. It is just doing things, but yeah, it's
or not doing things.
Yeah, it's not really coping very well. So we need to do something different.
Yeah. So I suppose if any of this is clicking for you, listening to this is exactly what we do in our Real World Ready framework, which is launched.
It is.
Which is a bit crazy. And
yeah, it is.
People that have jumped on, which is like really
awesome.
Exciting, and we can't wait to support them, whichever tier they have chosen. This is the first step in our framework. This is a very brief overview, obviously, where we will go through over the next few episodes. My God, I can't talk. Next few episodes, a little bit more into each pillar. But understanding is the first step of the framework.
Definitely.
And it's the biggest thing to get right.
Yep. As with everything. So we're pretty excited to actually have it now out for everyone. And I think it's going to help a lot of people.
Yeah, it is. So if it's something you'd like to know more about, I'll pop the link below where you can read and find out some more information. But also you can jump through and purchase if it's something that resonates with you and you think, I want this level of support for me and my dog.
Yep, we look forward to getting some more people on board.
Yes.
That'll be great. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating if you're liking this podcast. We're getting out there to quite a few people now, quite a few countries as well, which is pretty exciting. So if you do a review, follow us. It just keeps us up there, doesn't it?
It definitely does. And in the next episode, we'll go through the second step of the framework, which is setting up for success.
Awesome.
So we'll see you in that one.
See you then. How'd that go?